Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra. I am the witch, the spiritualist, the founder and creator of Magic of Eden. I am also the witch and dominant of the Shadow Room. Welcome to our kinky reading for the night. I appreciate you all for coming here and spending time with me tonight. It's always a pleasure. For those of you that are new here, of course, and if you are returning, welcome back, family. Of course, I appreciate your presence here and I am so happy to have you back. Now, I truly just want to jump right into this video because for whatever reason, I've just been out of touch with reality recently for like the past few days actually. And I, for whatever reason, have been experiencing it's not depression per se, but it's more of the shadow aspect, more of the I've been experiencing more depth, and I have been having a very vivid, a very lucid connection to the cosmos recently. And I know that this is a reading for kink, but for whatever reason, I feel that the way this connects is that before I explain out, I do want to say that I've been hearing the words subspace, and I've also been hearing the words subdrop and DOMDROP. So it's almost kind of like someone is experiencing the lowest of the low. They've been experiencing some form of, depression, anger, anxiety, and whatever else, or fear after a scene, and they're wanting to experience the euphoria that comes with the play, if that makes sense. And there, for whatever reason, I'm also getting a feeling that someone wants to explore the depth of themselves. They want to interstellar travel through the depths of their own psyche and who it is that they are. It's like they're trying to figure out who it is that they are. They're trying to come out and step into their truth. They're trying to connect with the self. And in turn, it's like, although they wanted to experience the euphoria, they instead were experiencing the lower vibrational feelings. They were experiencing the depression, the rage, the anger, the hurt, the betrayal. They were experiencing so many things after a scene. And for whatever reason, before I start pulling cards, the message that I have to give to my kinky family is that the reason why these things are surfacing for you right now is because these are the things that you suppressed over the years. And of course, you all know that in my own humble opinion, I do believe that BDSM and kink, it's not, to me, it's deeper than just hardcore sex. It's more than that. It's connecting to yourself. It's releasing the things that are taboo, or it's accepting and showcasing the things that are taboo that society does not favor. It's you traveling within yourself to discover the shadow aspect of you and integrating the shadow in a healthy way to prevent unnecessary suffering. So this does come with the knowing that there are things that you don't talk about that are going to surface. And when they do surface, it's the subconscious mind, communicating to the conscious mind saying, okay, this is what I've been trying to send you. And it surfaces. And then that's what you feel, the anxiety, the fear, the depression, whatever else you're feeling. These are things that spirit is saying, I need you to focus on healing and liberating, because these are the things that are anchoring you to a state of, I don't know why, but I'm hearing lack. And when you release these things, you can then be in tune with the more euphoric, blissful elements of kink, if that makes sense. But it's going to take for you to experience these other feelings and emotions, because you need to experience the opposite of what the euphoria feels like, if that makes sense. But also you are getting to know the intimate parts of yourself that you forgot even existed within yourself. Because for some of you guys, you've been moving along life, just trying to kind of get by. And some of you guys have been you know, just I just heard the word quiet. You've been quiet about your feelings. You've been quiet about who it is that you are. And in turn, it's like, I don't know why I'm hearing or I'm feeling that someone is like, I've been wanting to express this for so long, but why do I feel like this? It's because it's time. I'm hearing that it's time for a purging. It's time for you to purge those things, to come to terms with these things, and to say, you know what, I accept where it is that I am right now. But at the same time, I'm also going to put forth the effort to overcome these things, to become better, to become whole. And that's the energy that I'm getting. And we haven't even pulled a card yet. Here we are, 5 minutes and 59 seconds into the reading. 6 minutes into the reading, basically. So before I do that, I do actually want to anoint my hands with my oil here that I absolutely love and adore. It's so beautiful. I know you can kind of barely see it, but this is so amazing. It's got some amazing herbs that promote lust, beauty, love, glamour, like all of that. It's so amazing. I love it. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and add a couple drops or a few drops. I love how this is like running down my hands. I think that feels so fucking good. Like, you guys have no idea. I don't know why, but I feel like I want to kind of whisper a little bit, even though I'm not really whispering. But seriously, this oil is so beautiful. I love how it looks in my hands. And I love how it feels on my hands. This is so amazing, and it leaves my hands so moisturized and beautiful. And my nails are to die for. Do you guys see the sexiness in that? Oh my god. Anyways, we're gonna continue. The spirit is like, what's wrong with you, girl? Get to the reading. Okay. The first card that decided to jump out was the 10 of Cups. I love it. You see what I'm saying? Someone wants to experience that subspace. It's so crazy. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. This is what we can look forward to. This is where we're headed. I'm so sorry. I hope you guys can see that clearly. There we go. 10 of Cups. Anyways. Spirit, what else is it that we need to know? Spirit is saying this is going to be a short message. Don't expect for it to be too long. But then again, when it's time. Oh man, that's wild. I love that. That's such a vibe. That's such a vibe. We have the High Priestess here. And we have the 10 of Cups. Now, of course, oh wow. For whatever reason, Spirit is not, I don't think we're supposed to be pulling any more cards. I don't know, Spirit told me to stop shuffling, so I'm just going to stop shuffling. And Spirit is telling me to focus on just these two cards. So basically, with the 10 of Cups here and with the High Priestess, to me, this is something that represents our ability to kind of know and to dive into the things that we know, that we truly do want. I do feel like with the High Priestess coming out here, that she is definitely a representation of our intuition, of our divine knowing, of a divine feminine aspect of ourselves. And with the 10 of Cups here, the 10 of Cups normally represents emotional fulfillment. It represents love in its totality. And what I do kind of feel like is that someone knows that there is a divine feminine aspect of them that wants to experience joy, love, bliss, fulfillment in every single way. And for whatever reason, Spirit is saying Yeah, it's basically what we were saying earlier. It's where you have to, in a sense, get through. You have to go through the dark to get to the light. That's exactly what. Wow. And it's interesting because the high priestess is basically, she sits between two pillars. She sits between a black pillar and a white pillar. The black pillar basically represents the shadow, the divine feminine aspect, the negative aspect. Not negative in a bad sense, but negative in a sense that it needs a charge. It is receptive to masculine energy. And then, of course, you have the white pillar, which represents masculine energy. It represents the light. It represents the projection of light. That's what that represents. And so, with the high priestess here, with her sitting in between those two pillars, she sits in between both of those realms and she understands everything within it. But she also understands that to get to the light, you have to go through the dark. But at the same time, darkness is just light that isn't seen. It can't be, in a sense, detected. And that's why it's considered dark, if that makes sense. But nonetheless, light is still there. So Spirit is letting you know that it is through what it is that you're feeling right now that you're going to experience the highest quality of emotional fulfillment, if that makes sense. You will experience that subspace, but what you need to do first is, and this is not me telling you what you need to do, forgive me for sounding like that, but Spirit is saying, I need you to heal from this first. Healing, to be honest, this really is inevitable. I don't see this as anything negative. I don't see this as anything that is working in your worst favor, if that makes sense. If anything, I do see this as something that you know is meant to happen. I just heard, I don't know why, but I just heard the word destiny. This was inevitable. This moment in time is extremely important. And the reason for that, because you needed to release all that baggage, all that weight, all that gunk, all the toxins in order for you to even welcome in this feeling. And it's something that is, I just heard that it's leading you to a higher path. And I just heard something about sex magic. For some of you guys, I believe that BDSM is a form of sex magic and therapy. And although some of you guys are not into magic, I do feel that some of you guys are being led to do sex magic. I'm not going to get into that here on YouTube, but that's something that I can do on my podcast where I will talk about sex magic. But I'm also kind of seeing you guys, for whatever reason, I just heard to work with candle wax. And I don't know why, but I'm also being drawn to ritual. Like Spirit is saying, do the ritual to release, to purge. I'm getting a sense of scorpionic energy, of Plutonian energy, which the planet Pluto does deal with death, transition, transcendence. It deals with purging, of course, Scorpio does. And Scorpio is the sign of control, power, manipulation, and all those things. So I do feel, oh, it also rules death and transformation. So I do feel that through this process, your transformation will come with you being able to experience these higher realms of emotion and fulfillment. But you have to go through that dark period first. You have to go through the darkness because that's what's going to lead you to your light, if that makes sense. I'm not really sure why that came through, but hopefully that resonates for whoever needs to resonate for. I'm hoping that it does. I'm going to go ahead and put these cards back, and then we're going to go ahead and shuffle one more time. Oh, the Hermit. Interesting. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I just heard rape. Or someone engaging in that type of play. I am not promoting sexual assault abuse for anyone. If you don't understand rape play in BDSM, I would suggest you do your research. Again, this is not a video where I am promoting any type of harm or unnecessary suffering on other people. But for whatever reason, that did come through. Ace of Pentacles. You have the Hermit here and the Ace of Pentacles. What I do feel with this I just heard that this was divine guidance. Like divine guidance. With the Hermit, the interesting thing about the Hermit, oh yeah. Yeah. The interesting thing about the Hermit is that the Hermit represents our ability to analyze, compartmentalize, because this is the card of Virgo. And when it comes to Virgo, Virgo definitely is the healer of the zodiac. Virgo works with herbs and things of that nature, works with the cosmos, because Hermes or Virgo would be the messenger that translates the language of the stars down here on Earth. So for whatever reason, what I'm hearing, I just heard the words deep exploration, but this is bringing me to mysticism, because this is also a card of mysticism. I really do feel that some of you guys are using sex as a form of magic to not only explore, but to heal and to liberate yourselves. I really do feel that. With the Hermit card coming out here, this is you observing everything and you realizing that even though you are in a sub-drop space, this is an opportunity for you to observe the feelings and everything that you have, to see, okay, what has happened that has led up to this point. I just heard the word recalculating. It's like you're recalculating everything to see how everything has added up, to see what you can change to create a better outcome for whatever reason. And that's what I'm picking up for the Hermit, of course, and with the Ace of Pentacles here. Now, with the Ace of Pentacles, this does deal with opportunity. It deals with seeds being planted in a way. It deals with the idea. It's like a divine, I just heard a divine offering. And I'm also kind of seeing you engage in sex magic, but you are also giving something up as an offering. What you're giving up as an offering is your suffering. What you are giving as an offering is the depression, the anxiety, the fear, the lack, whatever it is, that's keeping you from reaching divinity, that's keeping you from reaching your highest self. You are giving that up as an offering. But not only are you giving that up as an offering, you're also giving up your highest best as an offering, to say, I don't have much to give, but this is what I do have. I'm giving that up as an offering to myself. Because there's nothing outside of you really for you to offer to, unless you believe in that. You know, I'm not here to change your belief system or anything like that. If you believe that there's an entity that you have to give an offering to, then by all means do what works for you. In my belief system, everything that is outside of you is a reflection of you, right? So in turn, you're giving these things up as an offering to yourself, to your highest best, to your highest self, so that it could be transmuted and turned into gold. For whatever reason, I'm hearing the word alchemy. Even though the temperance card isn't here, I do feel temperance energy. Like you're taking the feelings and emotions that you're experiencing in the sub-drop, dom-drop space, and you're transmuting that so that you can experience subspace. Now, of course, I'm not going to leave my dominance out of this either, because not only are the submissives experiencing subspace, but the dominants are also experiencing dom space. Now, to kind of get a little bit deeper into subspace and dom space, basically what happens is that the dom or the submissive will sometimes enter into a space of like a euphoric trance-like state during and or after a scene. It's where they experience like an outer body type of experience, which is really interesting, because earlier I was talking about how I felt very connected to the cosmos. Now this is really interesting because I have been having lots of outer body experiences recently where I don't even feel really attached to my body in a sense. So what this tells me is that as it pertains to kink and BDSM, what I do feel like is that you, in a sense, are being not only the observer through the pain, but you are also transmuting this pain into pleasurable experiences that then sends you into subspace, that sends you into dom space. And that is the power of kink. That is the power of sex magic. That is the power of using BDSM intensively to get yourself to these types of experiences, to become whole, to become liberated, to experience oneness, wholeness, fulfillment. And I really do believe that Spirit is leading you to experience these higher states of emotions and whatnot through the pain, if that makes sense. It's like your torturer then becomes your remedy, or your torturer or your sadist becomes your savior, if that makes sense. And in a sense, your sadist would be a metaphor for the pain that, you know, we personify. Let's just put it that way. And I do feel like your suffering is also, in a sense, the antidote to your healing. That's so fucking crazy that we say it that way, because your suffering is sometimes the antidote to your healing. And the reason is because you can see every single thing in suffering when you remain the observer. I know that that doesn't make sense to some people, but those who know. Do you see what I'm saying? So the message for tonight is to make sure that you are using BDSM, you know, as a means of healing for right now, because Spirit is calling that to your attention, if that makes sense. And it's so interesting because we're talking about liberation. The first card to jump out was the purity of freedom. I just heard the word baptism, like it feels like someone's gonna be washed clean all over for whatever reason. But this doesn't feel like this is a holy baptism, but it's like a dark baptism, where it's the shadow. In a sense, you're being baptized in the shadows, but you're using what you're learning from the shadows and you're becoming liberated from it. Just gonna go ahead and shuffle real quick. We're gonna be using Manara Erotic Tarot. I'm sorry, Erotic Oracle. That's so interesting because Spirit told me to look at the bottom of the deck. And what do we have here? We have the lower and the higher self, which is interesting because we have the number 13 here. When I did that fixed candle, I swear to you, I anointed it going clockwise 13 times. 13 is a divine feminine number. We were just talking about the divine feminine because the high priestess was just out of here. And it's so interesting that this comes through because the lower aspect of the self can sometimes be represented by the dark, and then the higher aspect of the self can sometimes be represented by the light. I feel like this is both of the aspects of yourself communicating with each other to ensure that you become enlightened from these experiences. I really do believe that some of you guys are in a space where you'll end up going through a spiritual awakening as a result of experiencing kink. I really do believe that some of you guys are being triggered to go into a spiritual awakening. I am not. I stand on that very firmly. I stand on that 100%. I really do believe that some of you guys are definitely going to be going through an awakening. And it's interesting because the other card here that we have that decided to come out was creating a new self. You have Lilith here and you also have Libra. What I do feel like with this card is that it's bringing me to personal power, it's bringing me to freedom, and it's you using your newfound power that you've obtained going through these experiences, and you are coming out a brand new person. You're coming out not even really as a brand new person, but you're coming out as who you always were, that you've kept hidden. And that's what I do feel. It's so amazing that that happens. But not only that, you're also experiencing balance. You're also experiencing justice. This is long awaited. And Spirit is like, it's about time. So there's that. And we're going to move on to our last deck. I said deck, you nasties. We don't want to get flagged by YouTube, so we gotta keep it as clean as possible. As clean as possible. And we are gonna be using our Sexual Magic Oracle, which I do appreciate so much. I really do love these cards. These cards are so beautiful. Alright, we're gonna continue. Spirit, what last message do we have here for the night before we edit our video? I cannot wait to get this up for you guys. Protection came out, which is interesting because the ruling planet for this card is Scorpio, which we were talking about Scorpio energy. Oh my God, we were talking about Scorpio. Look at you guys. Let me see if I can bring that closer so you guys can see. You see that? That's Scorpio. Come on. Like, we were just talking about that. Like, what are the chances, right? That's so crazy. We were just talking about Scorpio. Now, one of the things that I do love about, you know, that card coming out is that there is a space of protection when you are experiencing these different emotions, feelings, and things of that nature. And this is calling me to let you know to make sure that you are doing what you have to do to protect yourself before and after ritual if you decide to go that far. If you decide to do that. Forgiveness, Pisces. Sorry about that, you guys. My camera stopped because limits exceeded, but let's continue. We have, again, forgiveness here, and we have protection, and then we also do have, let me see, this card doesn't really feel right. So let me kind of talk about this Pisces card here. So we're working with like a lot of water. What I'm noticing, there's a Pisces symbol, and there's the card. So I feel like forgiveness, if in a sense, is when you are coming to terms with these things. It's okay for you to forgive yourself, your perpetrator, if you decide to. But Spirit is saying that when you do decide to lean on forgiveness, you're not doing it for the other person, you're doing it for you. When you forgive yourself, you release that baggage. It's okay to cry. It's okay to scream. It's okay to do what you have to do to get through this experience. Always remember that no matter what, you are still the observer. You are still the observer. Do not forget that, Spirit is saying. Power. I cannot. We were just talking about personal power. Like, come on, you guys. Like, I am just sitting here like, yo. Can you guys see that? I'm trying to get a good angle. I suck at this right now. I don't know what's going on. It won't focus. But anyways, that card is about power. And it's so interesting that power is here because we do have this. I don't know why, but this makes me, I just heard the word passion with this card. It feels very passionate. And it's interesting because they're bonded by the foot. Like if you look at their feet, there's a tie there that's bonding them together. And I think it's so interesting because the two of them, in a sense, are using the passion to create the power. Use your passion. You draw power from your passion. Wow, how fucking amazing. That's so fucking dope. You draw power from your passion, and I believe that that's what's going to help you get through the healing process, okay? Now, I love you guys so much. Thank you all for coming on to my channel. This was the message of tonight, and I have had so much fun spending time with you all. I hope that this resonates in the ways that you need. Hopefully. If not, I completely understand. This reading is not for everyone. I get it. It's definitely different. Also, I just wanted to let you guys know that Magick of Eden and the Shadow Room are going to be merging later down the line, later in the years. For those of y'all that are going to still be following me at that time, I'm not going to reveal how just yet, but just know that there are some things in the works. I am also working on some projects for the Shadow Room, of course, and I cannot wait to show you guys and to, you know, show you guys my creations and whatnot. So if you guys are not following me, you can do so at Shadows X Magic. I really do appreciate that. For those of you guys that want to enter the light side, you can follow me at Magick of Eden, of course. And you can also visit my website, magickofeden.com. I will be sure to link everything down in the description box so that you don't miss a beat. I hope that you all have a very safe, kinky night, and do not forget Use your safe words. No is a final statement.